Hello guys, welcome back to another SBT match. This is in Conquerors division, week 2. We have Beardy versus Skyquake. It looks like a very interesting match. Um, Sky has his Mega Aggroncal Fable, the Zygarde 50, Spectrier, Thunderous Therian, and Superior, while Beardy has his Gengar, Megalopony, the Heracross, Comfey, and Crocodile and Lantern. So these two are really good battlers, obviously in Conqueror's division, the top division. But really looking forward to this one here. I think it's going to be a really good match, especially with Sky having that Spectre on his side. Luckily for Beardy, he has things like Crocodile, probably things like some really specially defensive mons, and he has Gengar, which could potentially be Scarfed to try to revenge it. Spectre is a really big threat, but obviously Lopunny doesn't really mind it too much because it resists both Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball it's immune to, so it could be a decent matchup for Beardy here, honestly, because Gengar doesn't really have a resist on Sky's end there. I don't really know what Sky does to like an incoming Shadow Ball, but he might have some really bulky stuff on his side. I have a feeling Beardy kind of just leads with it, but if he wants to, he can obviously just lead with the Lopunny. The Heracross, if he wants to get a massive hit off really early on. In fact, Heracross can actually just set up on that Superior if it's not already burned and Superior wants to go get Glare off. He could just leave the Crocodile, get up rocks. He does leave the Lopunny, which makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm not sure what this Thunderous wants to be here. It could be a Scarf, but obviously Lopunny can pretty much do anything here. He can scout by going for a U-turn, go for a triple axle. Sky doesn't really have to stay in here if he wants to go Mythical Fable. Maybe it's a Rocky Helmet or something like that. But of course, if he Scarf, so getting off a Fake Out is pretty much guaranteed on Lopunny's part there. Gauge some damage, maybe see if he has any bulk. Sky letting his Thunders get pretty low there. Well, it's not too low, but at the same time, maybe Mythical Fable can wish him up later. I think Sky stayed in there for the sole purpose that he probably was Scarf. Beardy's probably thinking the same thing, and he might be thinking, hey, you know what, it's probably best to just go with a Lantern right here, because I can take a Volt Switch. Thunders could be going for a Focus Blast, which is why Beardy's contemplating going into like Crook or something like that. But at the same time, like Lantern is pretty free. I don't think that Sky's going to set up a nasty plot right now or go for a sub. If Beardy just wants to, so we do see a Psychic, so a very nice middle ground, I guess. Beardy probably thinking Focus Blast was coming, so Crook probably didn't want to come in there. Psychic was pretty interesting though, because like the Crook could have easily have come in there, and I guess Beardy figured, hey, you know what, it's probably time to go into Crook now since he knows he's locked in there. Sword comes in and obviously gets minimal damage off on that Heracross, but now he's +2. We do see that he is Flame Orb, so he can't get Glare now, which is pretty decent. Obviously, Leaf Storm is going to be doing a lot more damage if he decides to stay in here. Probably a big heavy Facade or a Mega Horn is coming off right now, and this guy only really has the Aggron if he wants to switch that in, but it could be thinking like a close combat's coming right here. So Facade doing so much damage there. So this Clef could try to protect, Wish Protector or something like that, but anything coming in gets to a KO if he's not going into the Aggron. He can't even really go to Aggron. Letting Heracross set up a Swords Dance would not be preferable on Sky's end. So he might have to just sack this if he doesn't have Protect. Facade already doing 58%. There's no reason to risk damage on anything else unless he wants to go into Zygarde. Zygarde really doesn't touch this either. And I really think actually that Sky might have just wanted to get off some damage against this Heracross, because once something goes down, so we do. So Sky makes a very risky play, but also a very smart one. Because again, you know, Beardy could have gone for a knockoff there, but it is really nice to just bring him in. I guess Sky figured that, you know, the Spectre, as good as it is, it does kind of get stopped by Lopunny. he might just be going for a sub here. I could definitely see Sky going for a sub right now because he could have Will-O-Wisp on this, specifically for the Lopunny. Because again, like, he doesn't touch Lopunny. I don't know exactly what Spectre's coverage is for Lopunny, but we'll have to see if Beardy wants to stay in here anyways. Because Sky could just go for the Ghost move. Like, there's no problem doing that. He could go for a Hex. It just allows Lopunny in, which again, like, Sky doesn't really have the best responses to. But I'm curious what that Zygarde's going to be. Like, Sky needs to get his Clef in at some point to get a heal off. And it might have to be against things like Comfey or even Lantern, which can both pivot out. I'm not sure if Crook is packing coverage for it. The fact that Beardy hasn't really decided to, so he does go for the Shadow Ball. You know, a very nice play on Sky's end. I guess he didn't really mind the Lopunny coming in, because Lopunny obviously can easily just come in here, and he can kind of scout out that damage. It doesn't really look specs to me. I'm not really sure what it is, but I have a feeling Sky wants to go for a sub here. Like, unless this Lantern is very heavily invested, I don't know how much damage it's going to be doing to this thing. Because he could just be trying to go for like a Thunder Wave, like a Toxic. This could be Sky's opportunity to bring in his Zygarde, maybe double into Clef, and try to get a heal off. He could also just go hard Clef, as Beardy might try to Volt Switch, but you know, the Thundurus and Zygarde are in the back, so it's kind of really hard for Lantern to get any kind of momentum unless he's trying to be more offensive, because Lantern with Ice Beam makes a lot of sense in this match. I don't know if Lantern gets Shadow Ball. I have a feeling. Predicting a switch is probably the more opportune play there, but going for another Shadow Ball against Crook, that does a lot of damage, really. And he goes for the rocks, so Sky takes this opportunity to just go into his Surf. Unless this Surf or maybe Thundurus has Defog, these rocks are here to stay. So, you know, we already can tell that okay, down goes the Lantern. Beardy just wants to sack that thing off. I guess Heracross probably comes back in here. Here's the thing. I think Thundurus probably does have the Defog, but it will be a Scarf variant. Unless Sky was bluffing it. I think he's probably most likely Scarfed in this case. Heracross does come back in here to either get off a big Facade / Mega Horn. We go for the close combat, really anticipating the Aggron to come in. You know, obviously Clef gets destroyed by Facade, so he might just be going for a knockoff right here. I could definitely see him just going for knock off Facade. Any move besides close combat and Facade here can kind of work for Beardy's favor, because going for a knockoff is probably the most opportune play. Either that or going for like a sub or like a Swords Dance or something like that. Otherwise, Spectre just comes in and just clicks Shadow Ball in, right? So, curious what the Surf really wants to do here. Defog Surf isn't that bad in this match, really. You know, because Surf kind of beats Beardy's Rocker, so it's not too big of a deal. I just don't think Sky really wants to take a knockoff, if anything else. And the Clef getting as low as it is, it doesn't even really wall the Lopunny anymore, so Lopunny is pretty much, if it doesn't get healed up by anything, especially since Beardy let the Lantern drop, I don't think Clef can really heal up on anything besides maybe the Comfey, which is potentially set up in this case. And we haven't really seen it come in, and we know that Crook is more of a bulkier, you know, utility rock set. So I'm curious if anything else is kind of, it kind of feels as if that Gengar is scarfed to the back, which makes a lot of sense, right? Sky doesn't have a resist on the team that he brought. Once Sky's team gets broken down a lot more, Beardy is just free to just bring in his Gengar and then just spam some Shadow Balls. Makes a lot of sense, really. Zygarde in the back looks a bit scary, though, to be honest. I'm not sure what kind of coverage he's packing, or if he's just a setup variant. But it does look pretty interesting. So we see a Dragon Pulse, and Beardy does go for that knockoff, which made a lot of sense. And I guess he's able to get rid of this Heracross without taking too much damage for the rest of his team, which makes a lot of sense again. Sky making sure that he has minimal damage to everything else. Superior isn't that effective in this match after he just got rid of the Lantern anyways. He could still potentially beat out that Crook though, so you know, he could probably just take out this Heracross right now and be fine. Serb already actually just doing some work. It's just that I don't know if he's contemplating what'll happen after Heracross goes down, because Gengar can come in, Lopunny can come in. Heracross trying to do some work here, at least. He's done a lot of work already, bringing Serp and Clef down pretty low. Feint, which is a very nice priority. I'm not sure exactly what it was for, really. But interesting coverage to bring. So in comes Lop. Obviously, there's no point in switching out. Sky can just let this thing drop, really. There's no point in letting Lopunny try to set up like a Power Punch. It might have Power Punch, but I kind of doubt it. Its coverage is probably going to be restricted to triple axle, close combat. He already has the fake out, so he could have Power Punch, who knows. But I think that Beardy kind of just takes this KO and moves on with his life. A Thunderous might come in and will reveal if his Scarf or Boots at that point. So there's the U-turn, assuming Gengar wants to come in. If not, then the Crook get a little bit more HP from the leftovers. Let's see what ends up happening here, because Clef can come in if it's bulky enough to take this Earthquake slash Iron Tail if he has it. Zygarde can come in as well, really, if he's the coil set. Comes down to how Sky wants to maneuver around Beardy's Gengar, because he knows that Gengar is going to be coming in later on. If he takes too much chip with anything else, it's going to be a bit harder for him to pivot. So keeping the Aggron in the back, I'm really curious about that Aggron now. It could be more specially defensive. It takes on the Comfey and the Gengar if that's the case. Otherwise, Lopunny and Crook deal massive damage to it. So unless it's like Iron Defense rest talk, he might need to find an opportunity to set up on something like Comfey, maybe, if Comfey doesn't have Taunt or Leech Seed or anything like that. But Aggron could be the win con. I have a feeling it's more Zygarde though. So if Sky wants to risk the Focus Blast right here, I don't even think it kills, but it could be doing a lot of work. Either that or it's just not the play at all, really, because maybe Thunderous wants to go for a U-turn instead. But I think either Clef or Zygarde coming here, it kind of just makes a lot of sense. They're going to have to risk getting their item lost, or they're going to have to, like Clef's going to have to risk either an Iron Tail or a big fat EQ, which I'm not sure how much it's going to be doing. But the fact that Clef is leftovers there doesn't really reveal too much. He didn't reveal anything. I don't think he has to protect, now that I think about it. In comes Zygarde. Makes a lot of sense. I have a feeling this might be Coil, but then again, it could be Dragon Dance, and that could make a lot more sense. We do see an EQ doing massive amount of damage. That's definitely banded. I think Sky does have to switch out here, but that was a really good chip, especially for Zygarde later to E-speed this thing and take it out. The problem with locking himself into E-speed late game is the Gengar will still be around, so it's going to be a bit harder to do. That was a gigantic hit though. Very nice bringing banded Zygarde. I've been seeing more banded Zygardes than set up lately, but doing some work for sure. Now we know that this thing is probably going to go for a fake out / triple axle or U-turn. So Sky might want to sack something here. If not, he can go into Spectre. Like, problem with Spectre is that it will be a speed tie later. So we'll see. If Locke doesn't go for the triple axle here, then obviously Thunderous will be the better switch. By the way, I'm not too sure if that's banded, but just, judging from that damage, it's gotta be, right? Looking at Clef right now, I'm not sure how much use Sky's gonna get out of Clef at this point in the match. Especially since it's more of a liability to find room to heal it up. Beardy's really not giving Sky any kind of momentum. We could be seeing a U-turn here, honestly. The problem with the U-turn is that nothing takes this banded EQ. Obviously the Hook can, after he gets intimidated off. But, yeah, really good position. For both of these two, actually, and it's up to really Sky. He does look like he ends up sacking off the Clef. You know what, though? I don't think he will be able to sack it off because Locke doesn't do enough damage to this thing, unless he has coverage. He doesn't necessarily need close combat, but he kind of wants it for the aggron. So I don't think Beardy can take this Clef out right now. He has to either go into the Gengar or the Comfey to set up. That's actually very annoying for Beardy, just getting those 2 hits, because he could have potentially maybe taken him out with the second round. He could try to go for it again here, but Beardy might want to save this. I'm not sure, because Sky has a Scarfed Thunderous Spectre, speed ties, and Zygarde KOs with E-Speed. So Beardy's probably looking at that aggron right now and thinking that he's running out of resources to take it down. We do see the U-turn, obviously, thinking that Clef's going to heal anyways. He does go to the Baton Pass. Is Baton Pass better than Teleport? I guess you can, because he's Magic Guard. I'm not too sure. Baton Pass is really interesting though, because obviously, Teleport is more prominent nowadays. But it's either or. I think one of his sets can't be compatible if he's Teleport, so Baton Pass makes sense. Like, I don't think you can be Wish Teleport. No, you can. I don't know, I'm kind of confused at that, but we do see the Gengar coming in here, and this might be a big problem for Sky. But again, if Aggron is that specially defensive set, you might want to bring it in. It's just a Focus Blast might be doing some work. I'm not too sure. Zygarde can actually come in, to be honest, unless Gengar wants to rock some Icy Wind damage. I don't know what this Gengar actually is, so I'm just assuming it's Scarfed. If not Scarfed, it could be Focus Sash. If it's Focus Sash, then Comfey was more of a defog set anyways. Let's see what Sky wants to do though, because it's really just, he has the momentum at this point. He can bring in Thunderous if he wants to, but then that kind of opens up Gengar into just going for a big Shadow Ball, which might end up taking him out, not sure. It could reveal that it could reveal if Gengar's Scarfed or not. I think Sky really has to worry about this thing being Scarfed anyways, which is why he's hesitant into going into Spectre. Like, otherwise he would have gone into it originally. Unless Spectre is a berry. A berry could make sense, having that ghost reducing berry and then KOing it back. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I'm definitely curious though, because like I said, Sky can just go into Zygarde. I would have preferred Sky to heal this thing up, but I guess he doesn't really need it. I think he valued the momentum a lot more than you know, recovering up. Really taking their time though. I guess Sky's really either just calcing or just trying to figure out what the best way not to lose to this Gengar is. In comes Zygarde, like I said, so it's a very very good move. You know, nothing wants to switch into this EQ, and Sky probably thinks that taking this damage is nice because Gengar is a huge threat. So if Beardy wants to just go for that Icy Wind that he has, or just a big Shadow Ball, he can do that for sure. He can also go for a Will-O-Wisp if he wants, but instead he brings in the Crook to get an Intimidate off, which makes a lot of sense as well. You see it does a clean 47%, which means that no one will take him out. I don't know if Comfey can switch in right now, but I think Beardy might have to just sack this. So there it is. There goes that, and now we're back to triple axling. And because Clef didn't heal up, there's really no switching to this, but of course Sky's switching is probably going to be the Clef. Beardy can obviously just U-turn as well. Beardy wants to U-turn, that's probably the appropriate move. I still don't really know what that Comfey is going to try to be. Like, it doesn't beat out the Aggron. It really doesn't. This guy's playing very smart. He's making sure that the Aggron is at full, so they can take any kind of hits from Gengar and Comfey. He can probably take a hit from this Lopunny, to be honest. In comes Clef just to get sacked. If it even gets sacked, it does. Okay, so now probably Thundurus comes in, goes for a big Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. There's really no reason to bring in anything else. Like Thundurus, we know it's Scarf, so it just goes for a Volt Switch, and Sky can finally bring in his Aggron probably. So let's see what happens here. Because that Comfey is either going to be set up. Okay, so he brings in the Aggron first, which I'm all for, because he's going to bring it in anyways after Thundurus KO Lopunny. But him not bringing like Thundurus in first, very interesting. I don't understand why Sky did this. Maybe the Thundurus isn't Scarf then. It's just that I don't think letting Aggron take this much damage was a good idea, because if Gengar chips this anymore, Comfey could set up on the rest of Sky's stuff. So Beardy's probably going for a Shadow Ball here. I don't know how much it's going to be doing, but it might just put it in range is what it needs. Here's the thing. When Aggron drops, if it does, Zygarde is free to spam EQ. I don't think this Gengar is going to be doing enough damage to Zygarde to be able to win. I just think that this Gengar is very much scarfed. Like, there's really no reason to be anything else, unless he is like Sub-Willow or something like that, like Disable, something like that. So in comes the Thundy to take this Shadow Ball. Like, I don't see the point for it, but maybe Sky had his reasons for not bringing in Thundurus first, because clearly, if he wasn't scarfed, like, oh, maybe the Spectre was scarfed, and it was set up for sure. So that's gonna be game for both of them. I guess the Spectre was also scarfed, because I was really just thinking that Spectre could not be, just for the sake of Beardy having crook, opening, things like that. Very nice though. Or maybe he's not. I'm pretty confused because I was thinking that Gengar needed to be some kind of set to make sure that he doesn't lose his Spectre, but in any case, Spectre just wins at this point. So that's gonna be game for both of them. Very nice for the two of them. I think it was a decent match, and it could have been close, but Sky definitely left his end game Mons very healthy, besides the Aggron, and that kind of equated to Beardy losing out because he just didn't have enough chip for Gengar or Comfey to just win, and he didn't really have any kind of room to bring in the Comfey to set up. So a very nice match again from the two of them. That's going to be it, guys.